I'm local auctioneer Lincoln Crum, and this is my auction lab. And this is the set for our new web series. Welcome to Lincoln Knows Auctions. Everybody always asks me, how'd you get started in the auction business? How do you become an auctioneer? Well, other than the 25, 50, 75, 152, 253, 350, now 400, other than that part of it, the rest of it is basic business. So let's talk about the chant today. It was spring 1987, and my dad, who had been an auctioneer for 10 years prior, said, hey, I think it'd be a good idea for you to go to auction school. It's only 2 weeks. It's in Kansas City, Missouri. You'll make all kinds of friends. I'll tell you what, even better yet, I'll put you on a Greyhound bus and you can go out, and then I'll drive out and pick you up in 2 weeks. Sound like a good plan? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. Before I knew it, he had enrolled me in the auction school. He bought that Greyhound bus pass, and he booked his trip to come get me in 2 weeks. So on August, I think it was August 8th or 9th into 1987, you know, way back in the 1900s, I hopped on a Greyhound bus in Louisville, Kentucky, and took off for Kansas City, Missouri, which normally is about a 10 to 12 hour car ride. This was a 24-hour ride on a Greyhound bus, and I'm gonna tell you, probably one of the tougher experiences that I'd had in my life. And I would say right now, top 5. But the memory of that 24 hours on that bus, I'll never replace it. It was just fantastic. So then we made it. I got to auctioneering school, met my roommate, went to auction school on the Monday morning. My dad said, whatever you do when you go to auction school, make sure you always sit in the front row. You want them to pick on you first so you can start learning the chant before anybody else and get your habits formed. Well, luckily for me, I did not develop any habits before I went to auction school. I never learned how to do the chant like my dad did. He wanted me to go and learn from professional big callers. That's what I did. And it was frightening. The very first day, I'm in class, I'm sitting there next to a guy. He gets up to go first, and he had already been an auctioneer. And he got up and he got on the microphone, his chest went out and his voice went deep. It was like, I got 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, and just went to town. And they got me up there and I'd never practiced. And I was 17. And I got up there and I'm like, okay, I've got 5, 5, 5, I need 10, 10, 10. He'll give me 10, 10, 10. And I started crying. I kid you not. Tears welled up. My face got real red. My voice got real high, I'm sure. But I learned something. I learned how to get up in front of a crowd and do something that I'd never done before. I was familiar with the process, but I'd never done it. And I went through that experience. And you know, for 2 weeks, we learned everything from enunciation to how to breathe, to counting, to math, to tongue twisters, to business basic elements. It was awesome. And after 2 weeks, my basic bid chant was as good, if not better, than everybody else, especially those that had already been auctioneering because they had developed bad habits. And so now, even though I do mostly online only auctions now, I do a few live cry charity auctions, but you can rest assured, every single day I am alive, whether it's for a customer, a client, a friend, or myself in my truck, I am doing this every day. I practice every day. I've got 100, now 150, now 200, now 250, 350. I've never been a real fast big caller, but I have always been very clear in enunciation, and that's because I've sold a lot of real estate at auction. And when you sell real estate in the thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, you want to make sure you're clear. I've got 50,000, now 55, 55, now 60, 60, 65, 65,000, now 70,000, 70,000, now 75. My name's Lincoln Crum. I love being your local auctioneer, and I'll see you at the next auction.